Hey, gang, there are so many important issues to discuss in today's political, cultural, and economic climate, and I can't discuss them all here. In fact, YouTube and big tech won't let me talk about it all here. And that's why I have exclusive, uncensored live streams on Monday nights to cover everything. On Monday nights, I share all my thoughts and answer your questions in an in-depth, casual format that prepares you for this upcoming election with the truth. Today, I want to show you a quick clip from a recent stream that I hope will help you think clearly about these important issues, as well as encourage you to join our movement. Join an upcoming exclusive live stream, and I'll answer your questions by clicking the link in the description below and joining our community of courageous patriots building a parallel economy. I look forward to seeing you over there. LaDaniels, is there nothing that the federal government can do to stop the ignorant indictments of Trump? Well, you would think they would. Yeah, I'm with you. I think if every Republican stood up against this, pushed back in such a way, then together with the Republican attorney generals indicting Nancy Pelosi and other Democrats, this would end tomorrow. The only reason why this is happening is because Republicans are allowing it. And it's because establishment Republicans, bankrolled by globalist donors, don't want Trump. It's that simple. They don't want him. The people want him. The establishment doesn't. And unfortunately for the establishment, they're about to get it handed to them. Vaughn Cassidy, Dr. Drillo, what position would you offer Vivek if you were a victorious Trump in 2025? I'm still prone to RNC. I think he would be a brilliant RNC chairman. I do. I think Ronna McDaniel is an absolute disaster, objectively so. I think Vivek would be astonishing. I think he would be wonderful. He'd be fully MAGA. He'd be incredibly uniting in many respects, because again, he has a lot of people really just respect his intellectual acumen. So I would do that. I would put him there. Maybe, or either that or as press secretary. That'd be cool. See him taking all the press every day. That would be hilarious. Just dismantling them. Dr. Steve, and again, do we have any recourse if we get to a point where we truly feel our government is so corrupt we cannot support them? Is it ever legal to withhold taxes? I don't know the answer to that, the Daniels. I really don't. I mean, this is what's animating Texas independence, the Texas independence movement of Daniel Miller, who's the head of the Texas nationalist movement. That's what's animating them. If they feel the whole point is, the whole premise of Texas is that our federal government is beyond repair. It's beyond reform. And so the only solution is an independence movement. That's exactly what Britain did with the EU. It's beyond reform. We can't get along with them. Let's get out. So I think that's what you're going to start to see. Is I think you're going to start to see a massive explosion in Texas support. And then once Texas secedes, all bets are off. I think you'd see a Flexit, see a mass support movement for Florida to secede. I think Oklahoma might join them. We could, who knows what happens next. Now, again, that obviously has to be fleshed out. But given independence movements, the flourishing of independence movements over the last 30 years since the fall of the Soviet Union, there have been nearly 40 countries added to the world map since the fall of the Soviet Union. So independence movements are actually, ironically, a bit of the norm. There's at least one or two every single year that's successful via referendum, whatever it is, that's successful. Even the whole Ukraine crisis that's happening right now is in effect centered on two breakaway republics in the Donbass, Donetsk and Lugansk. So. David, any thoughts on comparing the 2024 election to the 1860 election and the ensuing Civil War? I mean, a lot of people are talking about that. Given how Lincoln's name was left off the ballot, if I recall, in I forget how many states, 13 states. I can't quite remember in the South. While we know constitutional carry is sweeping the nation, millions of Americans and even you courageous patriots out there, you turley talkers, you're still stuck in blue or weak red states restricting your constitutional right to bear arms. Well, don't worry, gang. Countrywide concealed is probably the quickest way to get carrying legally in the majority of the United States. That's right. You won't just be able to carry in your state, but in 84% of the whole of the US of A. It's as quick as watching a video and taking a quiz, and thanks to Countrywide Concealed, your family is that much safer from a myriad of threats no matter where you go. Getting a concealed carry license has literally never been easier, so just click on that link below and join the millions of patriots who've taken back their rights and started carrying legally with Countrywide Concealed today. So, we're in a powder keg right now. In many ways, the world is going through a civil war. We talk about this a lot. The whole world order. You had after the fall of the Soviet Union, you had the advent of what's called the unipolar world. That's the liberal international order, with the United States being the big G's. The United States was the head of the entire world order, and we defined all the rules. That's why we call it a rules-based order. And those rules are enforced through institutions, right? The IMF, the World Bank, the WTO, and then you have these goofy break-off WEF organizations that try to tap into that power for their own gain, bringing billionaire and bureaucrat together and on that in a Davos forum and so on. What scholars have noticed is over the last 10 years, that world has been breaking up. It's been falling apart. And we're moving now from a unipolar world into a multipolar world. And the multipolar world is being animated primarily through the rise of what are called civilization states. These massive, not so much even states, but more worlds within the world that are going back to their ancient cultures, customs, and traditions, most particularly their religious traditions. So neo-Orthodox Russia, neo-Confucian China. To this day, President Xi would say China is more Confucian than it is communist. They see communism as a modern manifestation today of Confucian ideals. That's a real break from Mao. Mao wanted to get rid of the Confucian and Taoist and Buddhist influence in China. Now those influences, those religious influences, are being embraced like never before, largely also to try to revitalize the family after years of that failed one-child policy. We're seeing it with the rise of Hindu nationalist India, 1.3, 1.4 billion people. We're seeing it with neo-Ottoman Turkey, with the Shiite Islamic Republic of Iran. We're seeing it with the Sunni Republic of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Everywhere we look, the world is returning to religion. It's returning to tradition. It's returning to culture and custom. And then you get a BRICS plus G20 alternative, the BRICS plus. Now with originally Brazil and Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now they're with the addition of Ethiopia and Egypt and the Emirates and Saudi Arabia and Iran. Now you're talking about 50-60% of the world's economy coming under their umbrella, and they're not united by a common political liberal democracy commitment like, say, the G7 is. They are united by a common commitment to the civilization state. Civilizations now are redefining the world order, and Washington hates it. And the demons in Davos hates it, and the bullies in Brussels hate it, and they're doing everything they can to push back against the emergence of this new multipolar civilizational world order. That's what Ukraine is all about. I've been arguing this for nearly 2 years now. That is what Ukraine is all about. It's all about the attempt to save the liberal unipolar political order governed from Washington, D.C. And the rest of the world, 85% of the world's population says, no more. We don't want it. So there is a clash. There is a civil war that's happening here. So the civil war that's happening inside our borders, I would say, is reflective of that larger civil war. We patriots no longer want to live under a globalist political elite. We are done living under a political elite that that loves open borders, that loves shipping our manufacturing and industry jobs overseas, that loves to destroy our cultures, customs, and traditions as bigoted, racist, and all kinds of phobic. We are no longer going to be under this unipolar, globalist, liberal regime anymore. We've had it. We are not that. We are moving into a new nationalist, populist, traditionalist age, and we're clashing just the way the rest of the world is clashing with Washington, D.C. That's why if you put Trump in, you're going to see this I think you're going to see this multipolar world flourish like never before, because he gets it. MAGA is inherently civilizationalist. MAGA is inherently a civilizationalist movement. It's not interested in taking over the world. It's interested in guarding our own borders, our own customs, our own traditions. That's the key. So yeah, it's scary stuff. It's not just the United States that's on a powder keg. I think the world is on a powder keg, because there is a massive clash between two fundamentally different world orders. Thank you, David. Brilliant. I hope you enjoyed that clip of my Monday night Insiders Club live stream. Join us live next week by clicking on the link in the description below and joining the coalition of patriots worldwide, building a parallel economy to return to our roots of faith, family, and freedom. Click below right now.